Which team do you think we should start off for? I guess
let's start with the Chiefs. They're the away team.
I like it. Okay, I like it.
One thing that I wanted to point out before we get started, I saw this tweet today, but and I have it on my screen right here. How similar these teams are when you actually break it down. All right, so the Chiefs this year, 16-3 overall record, including the playoffs. They've scored 546 points. They have 6 All-Pros on their team, including a Kelsey brother and their quarterback. They're the AFC's number 1 seed. All right, now we go to the Eagles. 16-3 overall record. They've scored 546 points. 6 All-Pros, including a Kelsey brother and their quarterback, and they were also the NFC's 1 seed. To me, that's just kind of crazy. These are clearly the 2 best teams in the NFL, and I think this is a really exciting game. I know the Chiefs are coming in a little banged up, but I'm really excited to see what they put together because I think there's going to be some dynamite in this game. Yeah. So let's get into it. Let's break it down. Starting off with the Chiefs. What is your one key that you think the Chiefs have to accomplish for them to come out victorious?
The receivers, I think, have to play above average. They cannot just rely on Travis Kelce up the middle. And I would say that I think that's a weakness that they can exploit. Mm-hmm. By weakness, I mean it's just the weaker part, I think, of the Eagles defense, and that would be their linebacking core, that middle part of the field. Not saying that it's poor, but if we're looking at their secondary, then also looking at their front line, the linebacking core, that middle section of the defense is their weakest. So obviously, I can see a lot of balls going to Travis Kelce over the middle. But I think the Eagles are also going to know that, and they're going to play for that. They're going to have someone on him. So Juju Smith-Schuster, and then who's the other guy?
Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
Yes, that's it. I knew it was another initial name. They're both going to play above average. And then Patrick Mahomes, he's going to do Patrick Mahomes things. He's going to be a great facilitator of the ball. He's going to do something that we've never seen before in this game. Seems like he always does. He's such a great improviser with the ball. So I think the guys that are going to have to step up are going to be the receivers on the outside because we know Mahomes is going to show up. We know Kelsey's going to show up. We know that they're going to have a lot of screen passes, and I think that Jerick McKinnon and Isaiah Pacheco, I think, will do what is expected of them, especially what's been going on over the second half of the year, especially with Jerick McKinnon. So offensively, if Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquez Valdes-Scantling and the other receiving core as well can leave a huge impression and not be more than, and liability is not the right word, but be more than what they were this season, then I think the Chiefs have a really good shot of winning this game.
Yeah. So for me, the big thing is this offensive line going to show up and keep Patrick Mahomes clean? The Eagles' pass rush is phenomenal. From the Fletcher Cox outward, they have pass rushers at every position. And the Chiefs have a good offensive line. However, there's the weak spot is the right tackle, Andrew Wiley, which is where Hassan Reddick usually lines up over that right tackle. He was ranked 63rd this year among starting tackles.
And what, 77 is?
Yeah, it's like 70s. No, 84 qualified tackles.
Oh, 84. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Last year, I guess it was 77.
Yeah. And so you just think about that, and it's like, what can the Chiefs do to approach that matchup? Maybe put Kelsey over there and rub a little bit on Hassan Reddick. Send backs out in that direction is one way to kind of neutralize the pass rush from that side and just make sure that Hassan Reddick always has to think about the ball going over his head and not just running right after Patrick Mahomes. And for me, that if the Chiefs can do that, I think the rest is the easy part for Patrick Mahomes, right? Because I like the matchups that they have. The Eagles were average against tight ends this year. I think they were like almost right at 16 or like 16 or 17 in tight ends. And then outside of Darius Slay, I don't think they have corners that are extremely strong. They have a good secondary, but I think they have matchups that they can exploit either with speed receivers or maybe get Juju Smith-Schuster on one of the other corners. Because throwing at Darius Slay, I don't think is going to be a great option in this game when you're throwing to MVS and Juju Smith-Schuster. You don't have a guy that can go up against him. So for me, that is the big matchup. Is going to be Chiefs offensive line versus the Eagles defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, and that's just the offensive side of the ball, and it's funny we focus so much on that because
Bradbury. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, we focus so much on the offense because we know how this Eagles defense has been up there as one of the best, especially at least just statistically throughout the whole season. But we haven't even talked about their defense, and I think their defense is going to have a tough time. I think they're going to have a tough time trying to stop this Eagles offense. So that's what I think just to keep pace with the Eagles if the Eagles play the way that we're expecting them to play and dominate possession of the ball, they're going to need to have help from all skill players in their offense.
So one of the things that I will say with the Chiefs defense, I know they're not the most talented defense. However, Steve Spagnuolo is a fantastic defensive coordinator, and this offense isn't the Tampa Bay offense that they faced a couple years ago in the Super Bowl. It's going to be a little bit more. We're going to line up and we're better than you type of stuff, and there's not going to be the elite passing threat that Tom Brady represented a couple years ago. And so I think that does give Steve Spagnuolo a little bit more room to maybe be aggressive with the linebackers, really try to take this run game out of the picture. And what would be really scary for the Eagles is if Steve Spagnuolo designs a game plan that can come out, stun this offense for its first 3 possessions, and then the Chiefs come out and put up 17 in a quarter and a half. And it's like, oh shit, now you're down 17 in a Super Bowl to the best quarterback in football. This defense is going to do what they do best, and they're going to play off zone and blitz. And it's like, okay, that's the situation where it's like, okay, the Eagles are in a lot of trouble there. And one of the things I wanted to point out, Frank Clark is like 4th all time on postseason sacks. I think he's at 13.5. He's 2.5 behind Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
And I think he could play a big role in this game because he usually lines up on the side with Chris Jones. And those two guys can wreak havoc, especially on a team where if their plan is to run the ball first, those two guys are hard to get around. So, and Nick Bolton and who's the other linebacker for them? Is it Willie Gay? I think Nick Bolton and Willie Gay are very good downhill run defenders. This front 7 is no joke. Oh, sorry. The last thing I'll say is
I was going to say
where my problem is with this defense is they started 6 rookies against the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, and it looks like they're going to have to do that in the Super Bowl. And so if you can get them on the same page, then great. However, 6 rookies starting in a Super Bowl, you're guaranteeing a couple mistakes will be made.
Well, and this is where then my final point then, because I think this is a great segue into me saying my points on why I think the Eagles are going to win this game. But that defensively, yes, like they will need to be on all on the same page. They're all going to play their best game because they're going to be going up against. Is this the best offense that they've played all year? I mean, is that fair to say at least that it's the best offense that they've played all year?
It's the best. It's the most well-rounded.
Most well-rounded. All okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
Most well-rounded. Maybe the Bengals.
because they're not.
You're right. Like maybe the Bengals could put up a lot of points and they could keep it, but there's really like one way that they put up points. The Eagles can throw for 400 yards. They can run for 400 yards. So I think that's fair. This is the most well-rounded offense that they're going up against. And so yeah, if Chris Jones can have a game and they can disrupt the offensive line, and Frank Clark can have a game as well. The young secondaries and all the young defensive players can work together, communicate, and they're coming in with it's Steve Spagnuolo, right?
Yeah,
I want to make sure. Yeah, if he can come in with a good game plan just to slow down this offense, then absolutely they have a shot.
Mm-hmm.